Hello guys and welcome back to another skill point guide video for Total War Warhammer 3 on Immortal Empires. Today we'll be going over Grom. I really enjoyed his campaign that we did a little over a week ago, and so I thought why not go into his skill guide. Much like the campaign actually did, I just put 1 point into Route Marcher, but really kind of focused on his red line first, going with Dagabos, and I believe it was hard as nails. He ends up providing loads of bonuses with the chariot races, some armor, speed, and perfect vigor for chariots, and with the hard as nails also gives them a little more armor. And then I believe which one is it, the sneaky stabbers ends up buffing all of his units he ends up using in his army for leadership, weapon strength, and physical resistance. And I really enjoyed using the goblins for his army as the Gobbo King, if you are familiar or unfamiliar with it, depending on your experience. His cauldron allows you to buff goblins to an absurd degree, as well as himself, depending on what recipe you're able to cook. And so I really found that going down the red line early on was just really beneficial, because it just made them even more powerful. I really saw no sense into ever recruiting units such as like Black Orcs or even Biggins in my campaign, or even Orc Boys maybe for like running entities down, but like even spiders, like I was on the verge of getting them just kind of for the sake of getting them. Same for like the Rogue Trolls to play with them, because I don't think I've ever actually recruited one before, because my green skin experience is pretty minimal at the moment. But other than that, yeah, it was just which was fine for me. You know, I really enjoyed the fact that his faction and he personally overall just buffed, you know, one kind of unit so much that it made them super fun and enjoyable the entire time. So I really liked it. So I highly recommend going down that line. Now after that though, I really focused on his special skill line. There's really nothing too major down his blue line that, you know, made an impact in my opinion early on, and I really just wanted to focus on making his other units better. One here with the leadership plus 9 for goblins, that's really beneficial, especially because their leadership is so shitty to begin with. Sorry for the language there, but it really does help them not break as well. Now the growth all provinces, I really like the culinary curmudgeon, really beneficial there, plus some extra casualty replenishment rate. Getting Grom some more hit points and physical resistance, very handy. Of course, the chariot races and the boisterous shakedown I really like to grab as well. And then the roll them over just gives him loads of charge bonus. I believe at one point between the roll them over and then his cauldron, I had his charge bonus up to like 210. It was pretty insane. I do like to grab down to size for the melee attack and bonus versus large for goblins, and then also the goblin tide for more armor and more melee attack for goblins. It really does make them sort of tankier. Well, not sort of, it makes them definitely more tankier, especially as they get more experience. You know, they'll end up getting sneaky stabbers, some more leadership, more physical resistance. I ended up using goblins as my front line the entire time and never had really any issues. They did their part. They didn't do much damage, but that's okay. They took damage, but they replenished over the end turn. It really wasn't that big of a deal. They're super cheap, as you can see. There was just really no downside to getting them. They were very, very effective, and I really enjoyed using them. To my surprise, I was kind of worried that when I started the campaign I was gonna have to, you know, recruit them because they were cheap, money was tight, but then later on in the campaign I was gonna have to phase them out for, you know, Biggins or Black Orcs, and then, you know, spending all those points, even though I play with the 1-button respec mod, it was just gonna be a waste of time. But it really did a good job, and I'm just really happy how it all turned out. Now, after the special skill line, I do like to grab the missile resistance for Grom first, just because he's on a chariot, he's kind of a big entity, and he needs a little more resistance for missiles because the enemy will target him. I don't really worry about coming back until you move into Ulthuan. It's not something that I would say to dismiss, because that -7 leadership for Elven units is pretty handy. It just does you no good if you end up spending a point in this early, if you're staying around here where you have Bretonnia, you got the Empire, you got Vampire accounts, you got Skaven, you got Beastmen, the Vampire Coast, Now, if you're like me and went in and destroyed Alpha Lauren because they started declaring war on you, like, that's fine to get it. Just know that I don't recommend getting it right away. It just depends on your situation, or if you just end up immediately going into Ulthuan, going all kamikaze, that kind of thing, and seeing if you can pull it off, then yeah, go for it. But it's definitely not something that's immediate and super important, but you can get it. It does help. Just, again, know that it's not absolutely necessary that you get it. But after the special skill line, I like to do his melee line. Make him just as powerful as you can, especially with the charge bonus. More weapon strength, more hit points, more everything. Grom, to my surprise, is a very powerful melee fighter. I do like to grab Indomitable as well, so he doesn't break. Now, I know there is a recipe in his cauldron that allows him to be unbreakable, but that's not something that's permanent. So more times than not, I do like to grab that just to make him a little tankier there. But if we pull back and see his stats already, these are pretty insane stats. We still don't even have his items that can make him a little tougher. But yeah, his charge bonus, I think it has to do with his attack animation. But he just is always hitting. He regenerates. You can get him some more items, get him some more ward save. Grom's really fun to use. I really did enjoy using him as a lord, especially since I'm not a big fan in general of single entities on chariots and chariots overall. I was really kind of worried about that, but Grom seems to do a really good job, so I was very, very happy with how he performs in melee. Now, the 9 remaining points, sort of depends what you want to do. I like to go down the blue line. I ended up sacking a lot later on in the campaign just to get loads and loads of treasury and spending, because I ran a red economy almost the entire campaign, because I figured out that really you just need to overwhelm the enemy with mass force and let the sacking and looting kind of, you know, fund your treasury. You don't need like a standby economy to really play this campaign. You're sort of spending as you go and as you get it. You really don't need to sit back like, oh shit, I need to save up money this turn, because the reality is you're probably not going to, because the greenskins sort of need to beat you with numbers. And in order to do that, you're going to have to run some red economies, but it's okay because you'll make plenty of money from looting and sacking. So I did sacking. The only reason I don't really like looting because of the public order problems that comes with it. And then I just did the invasion chance when using the underway. I never really ran into situations so far in that campaign anyway that I was worried about being like intercepted. There was the word I was looking for, intercepted, so it just wasn't that big of a concern for me. I do like to get Ironheart just in case he does end up taking loads of damage, because he does regenerate, but obviously regeneration has a cap. So I do like to grab that way, at least over the end turn he'll be able to replenish quite a bit and get his health back up to full, hopefully. Also reduces his wound time by 1, which is nice. Pair that with the coming back ability and it's down to -3, so he'll only be wounded forever for only 2 turns, which is really handy. Now 4 points left. You can kind of do, there's nothing really wrong with it. The rally really green I wouldn't worry about. The mob bus, you can do it, but it's not as crucial. Personally, I like to do the out clevering and the lightning strike. Mob bus, you know, when you're running a red economy, it's not really about the upkeep, because you're just looking to always be like fighting battles, you're always attacking, always on the move. Upkeep is more if you're trying to, in my opinion anyway, in my personal experience, you're trying to save money to make money. And with Grom and the greenskins overall, you're just not really doing that. So it's, and plus it's only 9%. It's not 15 like it was in Warhammer 2, so it's just not that important. The out clevering I like, because I do like to set up ambushes a lot with my army, so that's pretty handy. And lightning strike is just to delay some battle reinforcement time. No big deal there. But that is how I level up Grom. Let me know again down in the comments what you guys think. Always interested to hear what you guys have to say, and I appreciate all the feedback that I've been getting from these videos. So thank you guys very much. I'm glad you guys are engaging with them. I hope you're liking them, and it's fun making these videos for sure. But don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys are enjoying the content. And until the next live stream or video, I'll see you guys later on, and have a good one. Bye.